It's Friday night and everyone's out. Like actually out. Your roommate's at a party, your group chat is blowing up with stories from 3 different places, and you're sitting in your dorm room with your laptop and a half-eaten bowl of cereal wondering how you ended up here. You didn't plan this. You weren't like, oh, I'm gonna sit alone tonight. It just happened. Someone canceled last minute. The group you were supposed to meet up with went to a different bar. You got caught up in work, and by the time you finished it was already 11 p.m., and everyone was 3 drinks deep in conversations you'd already missed. So here you are, alone on a Friday, which objectively is fine. Plenty of people have alone time. But your brain isn't thinking about that. Your brain is spiraling. Because now you're doing the comparison thing. You're scrolling through Instagram stories of people laughing at parties, at dinners, at late-night adventures you're not part of. And with every story, your brain gets a little quieter and a little louder at the same time, if that makes sense. Quieter because you're sinking into your bed. Louder because the internal monologue is absolutely screaming. Everyone's having fun without you. You're the only one who's alone right now. You're not interesting enough to be invited. People don't actually like you. They just tolerate you. By next semester, everyone will realize you're boring, and they'll stop inviting you to anything. And it spirals. It gets worse. Because now you're not just alone on Friday, you're alone forever. Your brain has already written the entire tragic narrative. You're going to graduate without real friends. You're going to be lonely for the rest of your life. This is it. This is who you are now. The lonely person. The one nobody actually wants around. And the worst part is that this feeling is so vivid, so real, that you genuinely believe it. You don't think, I'm having a sad thought. You think this is the truth about me and nobody knows it yet, but they will. That's when the doom scrolling starts. You open TikTok. You open Snapchat. You open group chats where people are clearly having the time of their lives and you're watching it happen in real time, completely excluded. And every time you see something, it adds another brick to the loneliness wall you're building in your head. By midnight, you're convinced you're fundamentally unlovable. By 1 a.m., you're wondering if it's worth texting anyone ever again, because clearly they don't want you around. By 2 a.m., you're just lying in bed staring at the ceiling feeling like your chest is caving in. But here's what nobody tells you about loneliness spirals. They're not actually about being alone. There's this researcher named John Cassiopo who spent his whole career studying loneliness, and he discovered something wild. Loneliness isn't about how many people are around you. It's about the gap between the connections you have and the connections you want. And that gap gets exponentially worse when you're comparing your inside to everyone else's outside. You're seeing everyone's highlight reel on social media and comparing it to your actual lived experience sitting alone in your room. Of course you feel lonely. You're literally comparing your reality to other people's carefully curated fiction. But that's not even the scary part. The scary part is something called the loneliness feedback loop. And it works like this. You feel lonely, so you isolate more to protect yourself from rejection, which makes you feel more lonely, which makes you isolate more, and suddenly you're trapped in a cycle that just keeps getting worse. Your nervous system goes into threat mode. People don't want me around, so I shouldn't try to connect, so I'll stay home. So I feel more alone, so people don't see me as social, so I'm more alone. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and your brain is the architect of the entire thing. And the doom scrolling doesn't help. It's literally like pouring gasoline on the fire. Because every story you see is evidence, right? Evidence that you're not included. Evidence that life is happening without you. But here's the thing that actually changes this. And I know this sounds simple because it is simple, but it's also the thing that's hardest to do when you're in the spiral. You have to break the cycle. Not by forcing yourself to go out. Not by pretending you're fine. But by actually reaching out to someone. I know that's the last thing you want to do when you feel this way. Your brain is literally screaming at you, nobody wants you, don't bother them, you'll just make it weird. But that's the loneliness talking. That's the feedback loop trying to keep itself alive. What you actually need to do is send one text. Just one. To literally anyone. Hey, I'm bored. What are you doing? You free to call for a bit? Want to grab food tomorrow? Something that says, I'm reaching out, even though every part of you is convinced they'll say no. And here's the neurological plot twist. Most of them won't say no. They'll say yes. And then you'll realize the loneliness spiral wasn't about them not wanting you around. It was about your brain playing a trick on you. Because loneliness creates this distorted thinking pattern where you interpret neutral social situations as rejection. Your friend doesn't text back for 2 hours? Obviously they hate you. Someone you like is busy? Obviously they're avoiding you. You weren't invited to something? Obviously you're fundamentally unlikable. None of that is actually true. It's just what loneliness feels like when you're in it. So the actual move that works, is this. Next time you feel the spiral starting, pause before you doom scroll. Before you write the entire tragic narrative of your life. Before you convince yourself that everyone secretly dislikes you. Text someone. Actually reach out. Not because you have to prove anything to yourself. Not because you're trying to escape the feeling. But because connection is what actually combats loneliness. Not Instagram. Not TikTok. Not pretending you're fine. But actual human contact. And if you're too deep in the spiral to reach out, if the shame and the belief that you're unwanted is too strong, then do this. Send a voice memo. Call someone. Go sit in a common space, even if you don't talk to anyone. Put yourself in a position where connection becomes possible again, even if you're not ready to initiate it yet. Because the loneliness spiral isn't about being alone. It's about your brain convinced you're alone forever. And the antidote isn't isolation. It's connection. So next time it's Friday night, and you're spiraling alone in your dorm room, scrolling through stories of people having fun without you, remember this. You're not actually alone. You're just alone with your thoughts right now. And your thoughts are lying to you. Reach out. Talk to someone. Let them remind you that you're worth being around. Because you are. Even when it doesn't feel like it. Especially when it doesn't feel like it.